Stones were like stones, pebbles that bother those who step on them and wish to get rid of them by kicking them aside. I didn't know what the word refugee meant. I found out the first day I went outside with my father, and a group of children stared at us exclaiming, "Refugees! They're refugees!" When I got home, I was stunned. I looked around and ceased to be a child. When all of a sudden your being is stolen from you, what you've been up to a few moments ago, you can't take it in. It's like in the rituals, when the billy goats have their jugulars cut. Their eyes fill with absolute incomprehension. They don't even try to guess what has happened to them. They're trapped so suddenly, they don't seem to perceive or feel the pain the knife blade has caused them. That was the first time I was fully aware that life had changed. That day, I decided to keep my friends apart from the reality of what we had all become. I wanted to keep them from the pain I'd felt that morning when for the first time I was called refugee. But how could I stop the curiosity, the desire to understand, to experience of children at the age when questions become so necessary it seems that if your life depends on questioning the universe? The Kabul horse races, that was what we needed, and it was what we devoted ourselves to. That's how, for some time, I managed to keep my friends apart from the horror. Baba is the greatest support I have. In Kabul, we had a rug factory that gave work to 80 people. Now he works like anyone else, uncomplaining, knowing that it's important to keep going. The past doesn't matter now, just here and now, waiting for the longest night to end. Son, we must burn our pride, without forgetting what we were. It serves no purpose. We have to find our new place in the world. My father's words are my heart's resting place. And again, the day dresses in black. As in every dusk, the longest night covers us with its blanket, and our hearts tremble. The beauty of my sister Marion floods the morning, competing with the first light. My mother is worried about her. She knows that girls are more fragile. She adores Baba. She says that he respects her as a human being. I've always known women to wear the burqa, but Baba says there was a time when they showed their faces and could dress any way they liked. My mother tries to help Marion every day. When I see them together, I see the mighty colours of love, as alive as the Susrut of Shing, our Kalash neighbour. From the day we arrived, she has kept on visiting us, sharing everything she has with my mother. She lived in Hindu Kush, in the Bombarit Valley, before she, like us, had to find somewhere else. Baba says we have much to learn from the Kalash, from their unbreakable faith in their way of life. Like the Afghans, the Kalash have been a people persecuted and battered by other peoples for decades. They try to preserve their traditions, knowing it is the only way to survive in this appalling world. Xing has often spoken to us about her people. She says her people are dying, that the pressures are ever greater, and her culture is on the verge of disappearing. The pain is always the same when someone dies. If you are close, you can see that something in the world has broken, that the air seems sad. The Kalash say they are descendants from some of Alexander the Great's warriors who, tired of fighting, asked permission to establish themselves in the fertile valleys of the north of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Baba believes that God gave men permission to call him different names, and that is where our confusion and struggles began. But we are all as one to him. The Kalash call him Desau, but as Baba says, that is unimportant. In the end, when death calls on us, we will realize our mistakes. The Kalash never bury their dead. Their coffins are placed on the earth. They believe that this way it will be easier for them to reach the holy mountain where they will rest. Yes, this world is appalling, Baba says. We embrace flags. We devote ourselves to the politics of faith. Others let us be trampled upon, shoved from the path like stones, millions of forgotten human beings. Sometimes, when I fly my kite, it takes me far away. So far that I believe I'm going to grab the sun. I don't need wings to fly. Someday, that sun I believe I can grab from my kite will paint the sky as children paint in their notebooks, and the longest night will end. And on that day, we will return to our home